Hi, Thomas. Welcome again to this another interesting topic. So I'm very happy to have you again, and thanks for coming in for talking about uh, about project management, program management, and various topics around that. So thank you. And
Thank you,
how are you?
Dharam, for having me.
Yeah. So Thomas, the today's topic is around loyalty and project loyalty. We as the project managers, program managers, portfolio managers, we are working for organization, working for mega million dollar, bigger project programs. And so we need to think about the loyalty towards the project. Is it losing? Are we losing the loyalty? And what can be the reason for losing the
Mhm.
loyalty? For the organization? Are we talking about the country, the community from that point of view? What's your thought around this?
Well, I thought about it a little bit and I prepared something for myself to look for about. And honestly, I'm also thinking to publish a LinkedIn article about this because it's a very interesting topic. And are we losing it in projects or elsewhere? I don't think so.
Mm,
It's a real human kind of bias, behavior, feeling. So loyalty is an emotion. It's a mindset. It's targeted to an object. So I'm loyal to an object, and this might be a person, but it also might be something wider than a person, a nation. If I'm a patriot, I am loyal to the nation, or I'm loyal to the organization, to my employer, or I'm loyal to my customer, or
mm,
I'm loyal to my project, and to my team. So I could be loyal emotionally attached in loyalty to different objects, and all we are loyal. So if we are married, we are hopefully loyal to our partners. And if we have kids, we are loyal to our kids. So we experience loyalty on every level of our life. In every um, um, community we are part of. And um, I think loyalty is about giving commitments over the long term. It's that you are emotionally attached to the object and you say, okay, it's trustworthy. I trust them and I do everything for them. And yeah, if you do everything for them, and you are part of a lot of communities and have a lot of loyalties, then maybe there is some conflict in these loyalties. Maybe you have a loyalty towards your family and you have a loyalty towards your employer. And then we all have experienced these conflicts. Can I work over the weekend or should I go to the football game with my kids? And there is a conflict, and
yeah.
we are experienced to deal with that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good.
But do you think the loyalty towards the project is we are losing that? It's I can see the reason behind that because many organizations when they are under stress, they just say, "Hey, we have to get rid of 500 people. We have to get rid of 5,000 people." They don't see who is loyal, who's not. Yes, they may have some criteria, but they say, "Okay, we're closing this department. I don't care." So you
Yeah.
have been working hard. You have been supporting the organization day in, day out, 18 hours a day, and you putting put your family on and your kids on. Don't worry too much about that. And worry too much about the work. One day, organization call you. There you go. You have a check. Maybe sometimes they may not be checked. And thank you for your work. Sometimes they don't even say thank you, and you are out
Yeah.
and look for a job for another 5 years. So
Well,
that's way.
what you described, I would see as a loyalty towards my employer or my company,
Mm,
and I agree with you. Companies lose the right to expect loyalty from their employees.
mm,
Nevertheless, some employees, it's a feeling that they bring in, and so if you enter a new company, I think you have the willingness or even the expectation to become loyal to them.
yeah.
Otherwise, why would I bother to go there? You have to show some passion. But that's the one side. But when we are talking about loyalty towards projects, I don't think much changed. So because in projects, if you are on a project team, and you are full time working for one project, you can be loyal to that project as you have been 20 years ago. And I have experienced in my life working with a lot of teams. Loyalty plays a key role in the passion, in the engagement the people spend on the project, and it should be a target of a project manager to instill loyalty in his team, loyalty towards the project. And even if the employer or the organization which is running the project doesn't deserve loyalty so much, or people are disappointed by them, they could still feel at home and respected and loyal to the project, and in the end to the project manager, and to their team. So it's a kind of emotional attachment to your working place. And if the working place is a project mainly, then yeah, why not? It helps a lot. It's a little bit more difficult in the situation we have right now, that we have a little where we have many small projects. All these agile things with Scrum. You have small teams, and maybe there's one specialist who works for 3 or 4 projects at one time, and then it's getting difficult to be loyal to 3 or 4 projects at one time, because
Mm.
there might be conflict, and there will be conflicts. So one project is telling you, okay, Monday you have to do that, and the other is telling you, no, I want you to have it done on Monday too. And you have a conflict, and you have to build on that, and then depends on your loyalty, to whom, to which project, maybe to which project manager you have a better loyalty to. So, but this happened all the time. I remember 30 years back, so we had small projects, and these people who are jumping from one project to the other during a week, okay, they don't show loyalty to projects themselves, uh, but they also showed loyalty, um, and maybe it was a loyalty towards their profession. If I had a very good, let's say, software architect, and he was very good at it, and so he wanted to keep his reputation and build it and make sure that everyone understands he is loyal to his profession, and he wants to act professionally. So this is then a loyalty, a motivation for them to still deliver good in the projects.
See, I'm thinking this project behavior, project manager behavior is also changing because now the demand is too high. Go to market, competition, and how to grow the margins, how to grow the customer base. So yes, I know that we're talking with the organization point of view. At the same time, those values, those expectations are thrown into the project managers. Hey, no matter what, we need another 100,000 customers. No matter what, we need to establish this factory here. We know there's a problem, there's a fatal, the hazard, the gas coming out of this is a problem, but you need to establish this. So as a project manager, when you are given such a task, do you have any responsibility? Yes, you have responsibility towards the organization, they're paying you money, but do you have responsibility towards to the people in that area, or to the community, or the country, or just focusing on somebody's, uh, they want to make money out of this.
Sure, you have responsibility. Project management, for me, is more a people business than a process business, or a
Mm,
a, a profit business. And you have a lot of project managers, also in NGOs, who are not paid for that thing, for a profit. But uh, what's really fun, and what's really successful is if you have a team which you can help to succeed. And that's also the base of what we are thinking when we go in the agile space. So we have a team working on products, and if you enable this team to work together, to have trust, to collaborate, and then you will have fun on it. and
mm,
and that's even the case if it gets more complex, the environment. If you say, if more demands come up, and then I was leading a team at PMI, and I must say it was really challenging, demands coming in, and resistance and everything. but the team helped me up, and I gave responsibility to the team. I showed weakness, and on purpose, and they came back and supported me, and that was wonderful,
Mm.
for me to experience this, and for them to be able, to play a bigger role and to take a bigger role. It's not
Yeah.
that it was a PMI volunteer team, and it's not that. Um, uh, the loyalty towards the project or towards myself, was in question. No, it was really under pressure. It was enforced or increased.
Yeah. So how do we as a project manager improve the project loyalty, your team members' loyalty, and your stakeholders' loyalty towards the objective, the project objective? Because
Mhm.
we yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think it's based on your leadership capabilities as a project manager, and which translates into your influence on the team.
Mm.
You can change perceptions of people, you can change behaviors of people, and align them around your project vision, task, whatever you have,
Mm.
and and you can use all the tools at your hand to do that. And it you could say, oh, how do I do that? But the tools are very well known, and they are
Yeah.
public, and maybe there are a little bit negatively connotated in some cases. But look at military, the U.S. Marines have the motto of Semper Fi, which means loyalty, absolute loyalty above everything, and they enforce it, and they teach you, they brainwash you. Or if you look at the public relations things, companies are Coca-Cola, IBM, they are building brands, and brand loyalty is something they can do very well, And by the way, the guy who invented all these public relations and propaganda things, and made it a mainstream. He didn't invent it from the thing, but it was used worldwide on a scale in World War I, and so the first propaganda handbook was by the German army, a white book, and then this guy, Mr. Bernet, he is American, and he wrote in 1924 a book called Propaganda. And in this book, you still can find the influencing tools, how to sell stuff, like companies do, or how to do war propaganda or everything. It's in there, though. It's using the biases we all have. It's using the emotions we all have, and so if you read that, you will have an idea how to influence people. But yeah, I don't
Uh,
suggest you're doing propaganda on your team, but tools are there, and we use it. If we use planning and project management, it can be used for good things and for bad things.
yeah. So I mean, yes, you talk about extreme to generate or not generate, but enforcing the loyalty, like a U.S. Marine, a U.S. Air Force, or any Air Force, military,
Or
or
mafia or whatever.
mafia, and all those things, more
Yeah.
enforced. Of course, they use suicide bombers. They need to think beyond their own self. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the project. And once we have a dedicated and loyal team, a good team, they are supporting your project or program's aim or objectives. Not only the project team, but your stakeholders. They're all working together to a bigger objective. And how do we create that? Of course, we need to have a vision for that. We need to create, hey, the guys, by doing this, we're going to change the world, change the organization, change the country. You need to show that. This is the vision of the project
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
program. And you show them this is how we could reach there. Because yes, while is kind of impossible at this stage when you're sitting here, but you need to show, okay, you know what, by taking the baby step, we'll be there. So now team can see, hey, by doing this small steps, one, week by week or month by month, we are getting closer to our bigger aim. And they're motivated, they're connected, they're excited, and they see
Exactly.
that they are part of a bigger cause than just doing some coding or laying some bricks or moving trucks. Now, this moving truck is can be seen. Hey, by moving truck on time efficiently, my the supply chain can be efficient and the work can happen faster, and companies make more money, and we get that's how we have to see instead of
Yeah.
just showing. Yes, enforcement is one thing, but as a company, as a project leader, you need to create environment where you show them that the company is loyal and you are loyal toward them. You're going to look after them, and they're going to show you vice versa. Uh, and I do have one example and a few examples here, like my team. I've probably talked many times. HP, I'm working for HP. This data center, cloud setup, and all kind of things. My team was sitting in Manila. One of the person, he's a backup specialist. He was not responding to my messages, and he's not doing what I was expecting. Then I was talking to him one day. He said, "Hey, what's going on? Look, Dharam, I'm very very tired. I'm kind of losing my family. I'm not very happy the way HP has been asking me to do the work. Sorry to take a name of HP, which that's what it was. And in Manila, the situation is different. I'm already in two shifts, and I expected to sometime I have to cover third shift as
Hmm.
well, and so and so. So as a project manager at the time, I said, look, I have to do something. My responsibility is to make sure my team is in an environment where they can perform. So I listened to him. I can't do what he was, personally going through. But next day I talked to my manager. Hey, Mr. You know, Bob, we have a situation. If we really want this program to be successful, we need to have these people in our time zone and only in our time zone. They should be only working 8 hours for us. Otherwise, forget about this program. And my manager did something magical wand and something, and they were working for me only in my time. And then situation came. He said, "Look, Dharam, if you are program or you are any trouble any time, you just give me a call. I will not leave office until I have fixed the problem." So that's how I was able to get his loyalty towards the program or project.
Right, right.
If you
You
look
see, there
after, yeah,
there are a lot of things a project manager can do to create loyalty. Yeah, but
yeah,
you have to think about it, and you have to understand what tools are at your hand. And yeah, giving loyalty, the first caring about them is one thing. The other thing you mentioned before is showing a common vision. That's what we are striving for, and they should be motivated to help do that. The famous statement by if you want to reach the Indies, you have to show the people not to how to build a boat, but have to show them what you can reach there, gold or whatever, and then they will build a boat and will do that. So there are a lot of tools to increase loyalty, and one major tool set, what I experienced a lot is all the team selection and team building activities, and
team building activity, yeah.
there is a plethora about it, and I always find it uh, most important for a kick-off meeting. If you have all the team in hopefully in one location and you do it overnight, you have a joint dinner. Why dinner? Because if you eat, you have some dopamine, and everybody feels good, and then they have a good remembrance of this event. So hopefully you have an overnight stay. They have a nice hotel, and maybe you also do some team exercises. So
Mm,
that they can learn about each other and trust each other. So the kickoff meeting is not only to tell them, okay, that's the plan, and that's your role, and these are the processes. No, it's about to make them know each other, and trust you, and to understand what the greater purpose is. And I've ran also big projects. We had a outsourcing project with in Germany with people from Pune, India, 120 people, and it was so amazing. the face-to-face meetings. We couldn't have 120 people kick off in Germany. Uh,
Mm,
but but we Germans went down and we did that then, and it was amazing. And we saw how loyal they are, because they had their rooms, their offices decorated with names of the company and the customer and ourselves and pictures and everything. You could see they are really interested, and I don't think it was ordered by their bosses to do so, but they really wanted to feel at home in this project, and for sure it was an outsourcing thing. So you would expect outsourcing that there's some loyalty in the contract. So it's 3 or 4 or 5 years, so then you have some expectations that it takes some time and you learn a lot and you are safe for the
mm,
moment. It's not like a project for half a year where you say, okay, I'm starting the project, have 1 month of starting up, understanding what's going on. And after 4 months, 2 months before the end of the project, I start thinking about the next thing because
mm,
I'm unsure what's happening to me. And that's another thing. Loyalty for a project manager means also that you don't stop caring about people once the project is over,
yeah.
but you 2 months before the project ends, you talk to people and say, okay, let's think how we can together make your next project happen, and then you will see the most loyal people. What I experience also, the most loyal people will tell you, Thomas, um, what are you doing after that project? I want to be on your team again, regardless what we do, and then as a project manager, these are the most encouraging moments, when you feel that trust and loyalty, and you see they maybe they went through hard times in the project, but they feel like staying.
Yeah. So they come and talk to you. Hey, I want to be next part of your project team, next team, because you looked after them. You are looking after them while you're focusing on the project objectives and the benefit for the organization, the value for society and all the kind. But you also know that without the team, without the people you have, nothing can happen. They have to be looked after as well. So as a project manager, this is one of the responsibility you have is to look after your team. To understand, what is going on. Yes, you don't go into personal life, but you at least build some personal rapport with them, so they can see you as not just somebody come and give them direction, do this, do this. They see you as somebody who can a bigger mission, and also you're supporting that big mission. And
Right, right, right.
exactly. So
and
that's
and and you are creating a safe environment, because
safe
they,
environment. Exactly.
yeah, that's the main thing. So I think the main purpose of the project manager today, and also 20 years ago, is to reduce complexity for all the humans on the project,
Yeah.
to make them safe. And if the life is easy, this that happens, and this is a process, and this is how I should behave, then you do everything.
Mm. Yeah. So that's where the term coming servant leadership. Agile nowadays we talk about a servant leadership, because as a project manager, you are a servant leader. So what that means is you are creating a safe environment. If there's any impediments, any blockers, any risk issues, you have to be in front to solve the problem. Of course, you
Right.
don't have you're not fighting. It's more about solving the problem so that the team can move forward. That's one of the responsibility you have,
Yeah.
creating the safe environment, giving them what the tools they need and environment they need so they can perform. You don't want to hear, hey, look, Dharam, we want to do it, but we don't have this. We don't. Yes, this is your responsibility. That's what you're doing as a project manager. Create the environment, get them the tools, the techniques, what they need, and support them.
Yeah.
They also need
and
your support.
And it's not only about your team, you're dealing with humans and you're dealing with your sponsor, with your customer. And especially in the environment I worked in with IBM, with different customers, it was always good if a customer would say, okay, I'll stick with IBM for the next project too, because we liked how you handled it, how you overcame all the hurdles and everything. And it's the same thing to build loyalty in customers, and we want to have loyal customers. So if I have an outsourcing deal and maybe there is a contract review after 3 years and they say, no, no, let's cancel it, then I did a bad job in creating loyalty in the customers. But that's who else than you as a project manager delivering day to day, could create this.
So, as a project manager, it's a good point actually. When you talk about building loyalty with, or maybe transparency is another word we can use. Because as a customer or a client, they have trusted you and your company to deliver the work, expected work on time and with expected quality. And your job is to, yes, deliver that, but at the same time, keep them informed. Of course, the required information. You can't be sharing everything, but whatever is required, you sharing at right time. Instead of they find out, hey, there was a problem in the program or project sometime back, we never told them, and because of that, we have a problem. So next time they will not come to you because they have lost the trust in you. So
Yeah.
you need to build a trustful relationship with your client, customer, sponsor,
Yeah.
or your steering committee, so they can see, yeah, this person, no matter what. Another thing people worried about is escalation. As a project manager, if you cannot solve a problem in your area of influence, you don't just keep it with you. You take it to the next level, program manager, to your portfolio manager, to your sponsor, to the director, even C level. Sometimes they have a better tool than you. They have better view than you. So take it to them, discuss with them, and always when you go to them, maybe don't go with the problem only. Talk away. This is the situation, and this is I'm thinking of solving the problem. I have option A, option B, option C,
Yeah.
and give them chance to. Hey, I think option A looks good, and we provide basically you providing all the information so they pick whatever, and giving them chance, and they are supporting you. So
Yeah, there are several ways you get help if you have a problem. You have no clue how to do it, and I think the first way to get is into your team. They might help you. They just might ask the right questions. So be transparent, honest to them, and then, as you say rightly, you go to your sponsor and maybe then to other specialists in your organization, escalate it, and that's very, very good if you have thought it through. But another thing for you as a person, as a project manager, it's also important, I think, if you have a personal mentor, and most executives these days have personal coaches,
mm,
executive coaches, and they talk to them once a month, and maybe if there is something coming up every week, and you should try the same. And for project managers, there are mentors available, often in a volunteer form. It doesn't cost, or it doesn't cost a lot, but have you ever looked for a mentor? And your mentor should be out of your normal business sphere, so not being involved in your project, in your customer relationship or whatever, because he also needs or she, needs a external view, and observe you
yeah,
and work on this and give you some feedback. And she will not solve problems for you, but she will have you solve your problems if she's good. So look
yeah,
for a mentor, and this is the one thing. And the last thing, what I also saw working, uh, besides going to the team, escalating up the chain to the sponsor, having a mentor, I think it's also going to the customer. So if you have a loyalty with the customer, if you have a good relationship, and I did that, I'm just going to have a beer with him and talking to him. There, look, I have this and that problem. So what can we do about it? And sometimes the customer can do something about it,
yeah,
and also vice versa. If you do that, if you're open, transparent in this way, he also will come back to you with some internal problems. So there was one customer in a famous German project with the air uh, software, and he came to the IBM project manager, it was not me, and asked him to write an escalation letter to his management, because
mm,
otherwise he wouldn't have couldn't show that he is under pressure, that there's a problem, because they wouldn't believe him. So sometimes, it's also good if you have a good relationship with the customer, that he writes an escalation letter for you internally, to your boss, to say all bullshit, do something about it, and then you get attention, but also you get help,
Exactly.
because they are involved, or vice
Yeah.
versa. It works both ways.
So you mentioned very good point. Having, discussing with your sponsor, your client, customer, as well as having mentor, and especially mentor who maybe is from the work, maybe from outside work, and somebody who's not connected with your work, emotionally not connected. So, and I'll tell you one example. I mean, I do provide mentoring in the project program, portfolio management, and other, just for certification as well. So this person came to me for PfMP certification, my personal mentoring program. And in the personal program, we don't only not only talk about certification, but also have opportunity to talk about what's going on in their program portfolio life. So he used to bring some situation. And after four sessions, he said, Dharam, you know what? From our discussion, I was able to save $3.35 million for my company. What? You paid me only this. And okay, anyway. So I said, can I have 1% of that? That's the difference. So, the mentor, because you're not connected with that, you're out of outer, you can see the outside, you can see beyond what you can see with the narrow situation.
Exactly. So it's a similar mechanism as diversity is. If you have in your team a lot of people who have diverse thinking,
Yeah,
uh,
diverse thinking.
so I'm saying mentally diverse, not physically diverse, and then you have more options to draw from. If you enable them to speak up and to contribute. So this is also a case for servant leadership again. Enable people to contribute with their ideas and views and perspectives to the situation.
Exactly. So look, we can keep talking about this topic. It's a, I know, very vast topic, but the important thing is, as a project leader, you have a very important responsibility towards your team, your organization, your stakeholders, your client. So you need to create an environment so, so that the work can be done as expected, and you can achieve the objective, you can deliver the benefit, deliver the value to your organization in the expected time frame.
Yeah,
Okay, so whether it's a waterfall program project or whether it's an agile project, doesn't matter. It is the way you create the environment. It is the way you
right,
solve the
right.
problem, show them direction. Look, don't just behave like a project manager. Behave like a project leader or leadership. Show your leadership quality.
Yeah,
Right? If you are a
and
good leader, yeah,
yeah, you started the whole discussion, with the question if there's a change in project leadership, in project loyalty, if we have because of the VUCA environment, do we have to think a bit differently? And my answer from that discussion and before that is not at all. And actually, it's one of the reasons why I choose the profession of project management in 1988. After my first big project, because I understood that I was learning more about dealing with people. The team, the customer, and whatever, uh, and that this knowledge, is building up on each other over time. You get experience and you get more wisdom from it. Uh, but the technology or the process part, the project management, they are changing every few years. So if you really want to do you a favor and build up your wisdom stone by stone, until you have a very, very big wall, then you should go into people business. And I say project management is people business.
exactly. Exactly. And more you're going to look after your stakeholders, the people, keeping in, trustworthy and open communication, transparent communication. They see you as a leader, and they trust you and you trust them. And, that's where the work happen with less of conflicts and, better results for the organization. So yes, a lot of things are in your hand as a project leader. So do the best for yourself, for your company, for your project, and for your staff, for your team members. So yeah, and thank you for joining this podcast one more time, and thank you for contribution, for Thomas. It has been going great, and I mean we are talking casually, but I think these discussions are coming from our own experiences. People see them. Hey, I can relate with them easily. If I do this differently, I can have a better result. Or I can, all this discussion are helping or should help them.
Yeah. And I
So
would
great.
also encourage people who are listening to that, and if they have some questions or some remarks, to engage in a discussion or ask questions or whatever, comment on these topics.
Yeah, definitely. Love to see your comments, your feedback. And yeah, please book some time with me or with Thomas to see if you are seeking some guidance or mentoring or anything. Happy to help. All
Okay.
right.
Thank you, Dharam.
Thank you. Yeah, till next time.
Till next
Thanks.
time. Bye bye.
Bye.